Who is the best between Owamie, Ndivhu, and simzright? Well, in this interesting episode, we will only be looking at the three YouTubers. Well, Ndivhu, she's got 200,000 subscribers. Owamie, more than 200,000 subscribers. I think it's 200 and maybe 5,000 subscribers, something there. Then simzright, sitting around 74,000 subscribers. She's close to 100k subscribers. Nevertheless, we're looking at that. But there are a lot of people to talk about in this YouTube space. You still have the likes of Mr. Red Lives, you still have the likes of TV, you still have the likes of Nkosi Entertainment. You still there's a lot that we can go into. But for now, we'll only be focusing on these three ladies. But on the upcoming episode, we're going to be diving into this one. We still have Uriki, the guy who ran the Christian channel. There's a lot that we can learn. And in this channel, we're looking at things from a business point of view. We're looking at things, and we're talking to this child that is sitting at home who doesn't know how to start up something. So we were looking at creating a content that is business based, a content that seeks to inspire you and look at people that have run the race, having started with just a smartphone and now they are somewhere else. That's why we create videos like this. So if you are interested, then please stick around. To those that will stick around, guys, if you are not yet subscribed, what are you waiting for? Because to subscribe, it is free. To like the video, it is free. To comment in the comment section below, guys, it is free of charge. Having told you in my introduction that I will cut out, okay, let me give you their list according to the numbers of subscribers. Number one, you've got Owamie sitting on 205,000 subscribers around there. Yes, the last time I checked. Then you've got Ndivhu sitting exactly at 200,000 subscribers. Then the last one, which is number 3, you've got simzright sitting at 74,000 subscribers, as far as I know. Okay, now let's look at a business model from these 3 YouTube channels. You know what I'm saying? And 3 YouTubers. Right. Let's start with Owamie. Owamie and simzright, if you blend them, they are blendable. Owamie and simzright, they have YouTube channels that bear their name. It's Owamie Entertainment and simzright. You know what I'm saying? So whatever they do, it has got to do with them. So this then tells us that if you look at Owamie and simzright, they are actually the business themselves. They've created this thing called YouTube, branded it and make it a business that points back to them, so that if you want to do anything on their channel, you are actually tampering with them, because they did not disassociate the channel from themselves. You know what I'm saying? Well, when you create a business like that, there are advantages and disadvantages. On the other hand, you have Ndivhu. Ndivhu create a channel called The Tea World. The Tea World is a channel that you don't necessarily get to see Ndivhu. You only recognize the voice. Now, not long ago, she announced that she wants a voiceover artist that will do the work. That means Ndivhu can run the channel without being heard. She just oversee everything. There are disadvantages and advantages for that. Now, I've created 2 categories here. One where there is Owamie and simzright, and the other one where there is Ndivhu alone. Well, I could have branded her with anybody else. The question that we need to have here is, what informed their decisions to create channels the way they did? You know what I'm saying? What advantage do they have? Let's start with Owamie and simzright, because their channel seems to bear the names of the individuals. Right. When it comes to Owamie and simzright, it's more or less the similar story of Mihlali Damas and Lasizwe Dambuza and all the stuff. We will talk about them in the next episode, in another episode. It means that a brand, if it means that the way they are going about this thing is that they themselves are the brand. They are creating traffic around themselves. Then it means that you can hire simzright just to be the face of whatever brand, because people have fallen in love with simzright. Simzright, you know what I'm saying? People have fallen in love with Owamie, the person, not the channel. But Owamie has a channel. So what was the platform where they found Owamie was in a YouTube channel called Owamie Entertainment. How did they found simzright was in a platform called simzright YouTube channel. Do you get the point? But then they channeled people to themselves, so they became a business. I'll give an example about this one. If I say Steve Jobs, what do you think? Apple. But what they did with that, let me show. This is where simzright comes in here. Owamie and simzright are actual brands. But Steve Jobs was a brand ambassador for Apple. He died long time ago having this name Steve Jobs that was separated from Apple, the brand. With that, you've got two brands working together to promote one another. You've got Apple and what? Steve Jobs. You know what I'm saying? That's why today they are inseparable. The moment you say Steve Jobs, you think of Apple. What if I say Desmond Ndivhu? You think of clientele life. You know what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying? There are consequences and disadvantages and advantages of doing that. We'll get into the disadvantages. Let's look at Ndivhu on the other hand. Ndivhu, the advantage that Ndivhu has is that she can work with any company. She can die today. It's easy to continue with her channel. It means that if you look at Ndivhu's strategy, it says if Ndivhu's child grows perhaps and reaches a certain age where Ndivhu wants to retire, the child can take over, and it's easier because people have fallen in love with the T world. Probably at the time they have a new voiceover, people that are working for her, people will continuously will continuously subscribe and commit to the channel. It means that you've got a CEO whose voice you don't even know, who happens to be Ndivhu's child because Ndivhu has retired. It's easy for people to get into Ndivhu and run the channel, operate everything, because they don't see Ndivhu has built the brand to be the T world that can exist in the absence of Ndivhu. That's the strategy there. But then it has got also its disadvantage. Let's start with Ndivhu's disadvantage. The disadvantage with building a brand like that is that if people don't know your face that much, it means that your face might have less value. If you were to compare Ndivhu with Owamie in terms of face, I can tell you even now, most people will recognize Owamie, and Owamie can be much more brand in terms of face value as opposed to Ndivhu, because Owamie has built the brand Owamie around herself, and she's not just a voiceover, she is actually the face of her brand, and people have fallen in love with her. But the disadvantage with that, the same example that I used to Owamie is the same example that can be applicable to simzright. The disadvantage here is if she dies, what will happen? She's sick, and stories continues. Stories don't wait for you to get well. If she's sick, lying in the hospital bed, she can't do anything. If she's committed in other business deals somewhere else, if she did not get a time to record, nobody can replace them, because they are actual brands. You know what I'm saying? Unless they create what we call it assistant to them, where they slowly but surely introduce us to other people, maybe to one person that usually will do the story. They will do the stories with them, but there will come a time where they educate their audience, that there will come a time where you guys will see him or her. It doesn't mean that I'm not there. It means that I'm busy somewhere else. Then the person will come and do this thing. But the catch is, do they love the person as they love you? The other catch is, what if they fall in love more with the other person than you? That is what we have seen with Ndivhu. We have seen people fall in love with the husband more than the owner of the channel, which is Ndivhu. So the risk, if you create a business around yourself, is that people tend to love you and can't disassociate you from the business, and that's where the danger is. But with the T world, it's easy to introduce people while Ndivhu is still okay, and say, guys, you're gonna have this voiceover. I'm at the background, don't worry, I'm still there. She can continue now run the channel, the other one, Ndivhu, no problem. She will run it very smoothly. But when it comes to the T world and other channels that we don't know, she can still run those channels without us and make more money while sitting on the background. So take the two channels, look at them from this perspective. If you are to take a smartphone today and you want to record a video and you want to start this YouTube journey, you want to build a brand, you want to be an influencer of a note, you then decide of two things. Do you want to be this type of an influencer whom people fall in love with you and your face, or you want to create a brand that when you have created this YouTube channel and it has reached certain numbers of subscribers, you can easily sell it because people don't love, they have not fallen in love with just the face, they fall in love with just what you are doing with your work instead of you. Then you ask a question, but Bongan, you are seen in this face. I mean, in this YouTube channel, your face is here. What are your disadvantages and advantages in this one? Well, look at the title of this, or the name of the channel. It is SA Business Ideas and Jobs. That means you hardly hear me talking about my name, as much as I'm the presenter in this channel. But you don't know my name. I bet that a lot of people don't know my name. So that means I can introduce people in this channel, presenters in this channel, as many as I want. And I can easily do so because the channel itself has got a name independent from me. That means that it can me and the channel can coexist, but at the same time we can separate us. Because I'm not building it to be upon me and exist as long as I exist. I created this with this perspective in mind. When I created this channel, I had this in mind. I said, if I fail in life, if I have a child and I happen to fail to succeed in this life, because I want to have a child, and when my child is that old, I want my child to have, I want to buy my child a house, a car, fully furnished house, and money. And when my child get married, I want to say, listen, you go get married, and then this is your house, this is your car, fully furnished house, go start your life. I don't want my child to start a life where I started life. You know what I'm saying? Then I want to create something that will bring income to my child. So hence I created this type of YouTube channels. I've got maybe 6 channels. I'm creating channels that can exist without me. There's no channel that is embedded upon my name. No, I want channels that can exist without me. So it means that I will introduce presenters in these channels. I'm creating channels that can exist even if I'm no longer uploading because of the type of content that I'm delivering there. This is where we're going with this one. My child can benefit from these channels even when I'm dead. And that's the aim, that's the vision. But now I don't afford to buy or to pay a presenter. So I decide to start it myself. But in the long run, I'm going to employ people that will do the presenting when I have that financial muscle. Rest assured it is coming soon. So when you plan a YouTube channel, there are quite a number of things that you need to think about. You don't need to just think of it as a hobby, but you need to think of it as a long-term game. Think of it as this way. When you die, can you be replaceable in your channel? Can your child take over should they want to? Can your husband or your wife take over should they want to? If they can't, why? Think about those lines. If you are sick lying in the hospital bed, can somebody come and continue with the work for you while you're still recovering? If not, why? Think about those things. For me, it is more about creating legacy. Leaving my child with something that if I fail, if I don't succeed at anything, I know that I've created a channel that can, I've created a channel of which its content can run far too long, that it will give you money and sustain you while we are still finding you to feed somewhere else. Do you see the point? I'm creating content that if I were to die 10 years after maybe my child, when my child is 10 years old, while my child is still finding his feet, the channel can probably run another 10 years producing money that will sustain my child while my child is still growing. Probably 15 years, 20 years down the line, the content will still be relevant and the child will still be making money off the channel that I've created. Do you see the point? So I'm looking at things from that perspective. When you start a business, you want to look at things from that perspective. You don't want to start a business that only exists as long as you exist. Only exist as long as you are healthy. But you do not want to fight those who started business that way, because probably they might have sat down and decided, that is what is going to work for me, because that is what I love about me. You know what I'm saying? So you're never going to fight those people. I'm never going to bash simzright. I'm never going to bash Owamie. There might have been deliberate around it. So you're never going to mess around the management and the ninjas, because the owner of those channels might have thought it so. But we want to bring this awareness to a person who is starting a channel to say, guys, consider these things when you start a channel. When you create that business in the business called YouTube, consider those things, understand why you are doing this. Don't just do things for the sake of doing things, but do things being intentional. I'm not saying go for the Owamie way, no. I'm not saying go the Ndivhu way, but you've got to weigh your options and decide why this option, and know and understand how this option will benefit you as an individual. If you found this video informative, get into the comment section below. Tell me what you think about this video, because we're going to be creating more and more of this. We're going to look into more YouTube content creators and why they do things the way they do and what we need to learn from this. And we're going to look at this from a business point of view. Are you interested with this journey? Tell me in the comment section below, guys, as we proceed with this journey. Until the next episode, good people, please take care.